At 6:30, straight ahead, a bill aimed at stopping porch pirates in Oklahoma is on its way to the governor. The new penalties they will face.
And News 12 spoke with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, what he had to say about COVID-19 numbers in rural areas.
Plus, restaurants have been open in Texas for nearly 2 weeks, how they're keeping customers safe, and what else is opening up in Texoma. Good morning. Thanks so much for waking up with us. I'm Christy Waite.
And I'm Jeremy Thomas. Meteorologist Tom Miller is joining us now to check our forecast this morning. And Tom, we're dealing with some dense fog in some parts of Texoma.
We are. Some visibility is down to about a half a mile, especially in Pontotoc County. And you see most of us are greeted to some low clouds and some fog and even some light showers moving in and around portions of Pontotoc County. But later on this evening, we could see some storms, some of them strong, possibly severe in western areas of Texoma. If that would be the case, we could see some damaging winds, some golf ball size hail, and some brief heavy rainfall. Tornado threat is low, but not everybody will see the storms. Eastern areas of Texoma may not even hear a clap of thunder or receive a drop of rain. Well, a dense fog advisory in effect for the northern sections of Texoma until about 10 o'clock. This is the timing that we're looking at some of those storms. Again, a slight risk in those areas that are in purple, 8 p.m. to about 1 a.m. But I really think as it moves after midnight into eastern areas of Texoma, we might not see much in the way of showers and thunderstorms. Right now, though, again, visibility is being restricted in some areas. A complete look at the forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Tom. Well, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of a crash that injured 8 and sent 5 people, including minors and children, to the hospital in critical conditions. Troopers say it happened on Sunday morning at the 4-way stop on State Highway 48 and Country Road 1750 outside of Tupelo. They say a car driven by 18-year-old J.C. Renfro was headed north on Highway 48 when they ran a stop sign and T-boned a car carrying 4 juvenile passengers heading west on County Road 1750. Now, troopers say alcohol is a factor in the investigation.
We don't know yet whether it caused collisions, but it is a factor in the collision. And when people are combining intoxicants with failure to use seat belts, it is a recipe for disaster. And in this case, the not stopping at a stop sign or failing to yield from a stop sign and pulling into the path of another vehicle affected everybody in that northbound vehicle's day as well. And it's just a tragic scenario for all involved.
Hampton says 2 people involved so far have been released from the hospital.
A GoFundMe page has been set up for the man who drowned at Turner Falls over the weekend. City officials say 26-year-old Najee Subashmi Turu, a college student in Wichita Falls, was not wearing a life jacket at the time. Officials say he went under the water and did not resurface. He was pursuing his master's degree at Midwestern State University. The family is asking for donations in order to send his body back to India.
Ardmore Police says they have seen an uptick in fraud reports regarding filing for unemployment. Officials say they have seen about 6 so far this month, plus several businesses receiving claims for unemployment from people who have never worked for them. The OSBI says the problem is rampant across the state and formed a task force last week of state and federal agencies to investigate these false claims.
This type of crime should never be perpetrated anyway. It's just shameless. But during a pandemic, when so many people are hurting, they're unemployed, they can't put food on the table for their kids. I mean, there's all kinds. They're sick. To be doing this to Oklahomans right now is just absolutely unacceptable. And I promise that we will get to the bottom of it.
If you believe you've been a victim of unemployment fraud, you can go to the Attorney General's website and fill out a form.
A bill aimed at cracking down on porch pirates in Oklahoma is now headed to Governor Kevin Stitt's desk. The Senate approved House Bill 2777 Monday, which legislators say would strengthen penalties against those who steal packages off porches. If signed, it would be a misdemeanor for first and second offenses and a felony for 3 or more offenses within a 60-day period. Those convicted of a third offense could face up to 2 years in prison.
And taking a look at the recent coronavirus cases, Lamar County confirmed a new case last night that makes 105 cases in Lamar County. Grayson County reports 7 new cases. 6 are from Sherman, 1 is from Pottsboro. Health officials say all the patients are isolating at home. The total cases for Grayson County is now 112. Atoka County is reporting its second coronavirus case, but state health authorities say the person has recovered. So far, 343 people have been infected in Texas. Texoma, 157 have made a full recovery.
State emergency management officials are scheduled to be at Tyson and Sherman starting today and tomorrow, testing every employee for COVID-19. Grayson County Emergency Management says this is at the request of Tyson as a precaution. The Texas Department of Emergency Management was there Monday to prepare for the testing. Last week, the company did not release the exact number of COVID-19 cases at the plant, but did say it was in the single digits. However, several employees who asked to remain anonymous have said there are more. And Grayson County has decided to extend their disaster declaration again this week. This will not affect whether businesses can reopen. Emergency Management Director Sarah Summers says it allows the county to continue to get funding and reimbursements for unexpected expenses due to the pandemic. Each extension only goes for another 7 days, so they will meet again next week to decide whether to extend it. Governor Greg Abbott also issued a proclamation yesterday extending his disaster declaration for all Texas counties.
And News 12 got the opportunity to speak directly to Texas Governor Greg Abbott yesterday,
asking him about the recent spike in coronavirus cases some Texoma counties are having.
So this is very important, especially in the Grayson County area, because there are some what you may categorize as rural areas where you are seeing some spikes, but the good news is we've been able to identify the reason for those spikes. In Grayson County, it's because of an outbreak at a meatpacking plant. The same thing is true in the Panhandle area, where there's an outbreak at a meatpacking plant, or several meatpacking plants there, that's infected Moore County as well as the area around Amarillo. The same is true in certain other parts of the state of Texas. So to respond to that, Texas has a surge response team that is actually on its way to Sherman, Texas as we speak, to respond to that challenge in Grayson County, just like we have in the Panhandle, just like we have in other regions of the state of Texas.
Texas Governor Abbott is mandating the state to test all nursing home residents and staff for COVID-19. The announcement came on Monday in an interview with News 12 yesterday. Abbott said the 3 areas raising the biggest concern in Texas are jails, meatpacking plants, and nursing homes. One woman whose dad lives in a long-term care facility in Denison says she doesn't think mass testing would be practical. She says it would be more effective to enforce protocol like workers wearing masks at all times and changing gloves.
I mean, God bless our workers going in and out, but testing is not going to stop them from getting exposed.
Grayson County Emergency Manager Sarah Summers says they expect state teams will be doing the testing, but they're waiting on specific details.
Texas restaurants have been allowed to reopen for people to dine in for 2 weeks now. It's at 25% capacity under Governor Greg Abbott's plan to reopen the state. Local restaurants say customers have had mixed reactions. The manager at Trax Restaurant in Sherman says they have certain tables that are off limits marked with X's to keep people at a safe distance.
As you can tell, though, everything's really spaced out, so obviously we haven't been as busy as we normally are, but I felt like it really picked up.
And they're still offering curbside and takeout options for those who prefer to stay at home.
And the Carter County has plans to begin reopening of its courthouse beginning next week. It will be open Monday through Friday, but will still be closed to the public. People allowed include attorneys, victims, witnesses, and anyone with a scheduled meeting. Now, they must wear masks and gloves while inside. There is no timetable on when normal operations will resume.
Choctaw Casino has announced that they hope to reopen on June 1st. They said they will be making a plan in order to reopen safely. Operations will be limited at the beginning. The Choctaws originally announced all of their casinos and resorts closed back on March 16th due to COVID-19. Chickasaw Nation Governor Bill Anatubby says his tribe's casinos will remain closed through May 29th.
And Ardmore Parks and Recreation has announced plans to reopen the city's water park next month. The Ardmore Community Water Park usually opens Memorial Day weekend, but will open this year on Monday, June 1st. The capacity will be half of what it normally is, which is just under 300 people. Bathrooms and other facilities will be cleaned more often. The city is also taking applications for lifeguard and swimming instructors on the Ardmore City website. Well, the time now is 6:39. Let's go ahead and get a quick check of that forecast. We have meteorologist Tom Miller joining us now. And Tom, some parts of Texoma are seeing some fog. Is that right?
Very dense fog across northern sections of Texoma. And I'll show you the East Central University tower cam in just a moment. But you can see even a little bit of shower activity working its way underneath this overcast skies. A little bit of drizzle, not out of the question this morning, along with the low clouds. And there you can see the dense fog advisory in effect until 10 o'clock for Cole County, Pontotoc County, Murray, as well as Garvin, Stevens, and into the Lawton area and off towards Oklahoma City. Now, as we look at our Holiday Inn Ardmore tower cam, the clouds lowering a little bit, but visibilities aren't all that bad. A temperature of 60 degrees. On the other hand, it's a little hard to see the plaza there. You can see some of the, again, street lights, but that's about the extent of it. There's actually a building somewhere right out there in front of us. So again, visibilities are very low in some areas. Now, weather alert, not just for the fog, but for what we're expecting this evening, and that is some strong to maybe severe storms moving into western areas of Texoma before we hit the midnight hour with some damaging winds, some large hail, and some brief heavy rain. The tornado threat is very low. As a matter of fact, some parts of Texoma, these storms may completely fall apart, and you may not even see a drop of rain from them. Slight risk of severe storms along those counties, along I-35 and to the west, to the east. Again, these storms will just be falling apart after midnight. So again, that'll be a good news for most of Texoma. Just we need to be on guard for those folks that live along and to the west of the I-35 corridor. Warm front's going to move through, and that'll warm temperatures up today. We're already 70 in Greenville, 67 in Sherman and Denison, while it's 55 with that fog in Ada. And winds are out of the east in southern Oklahoma, allowing for some of that fog to develop. And then the southeast winds have mixed out that fog that developed earlier this morning across North Texas. And there you can see visibilities in Bryan County around 2 miles, near zero visibility. And we saw that on the East Central Ada tower cam, and a near 4 to 6 miles visibility in Ardmore. Elevation at Lake Texoma, about 618 feet. Let's put the Futurecast model into motion. Again, we could see a little sprinkle here and there this morning. I'm expecting some partial sunshine this afternoon before those storms roll into the area. Late tonight, between 9 and midnight along that I-35 corridor, they could be strong to severe, but watch what happens as we get into the early morning hours. Just completely tears themselves apart, runs into an atmosphere that is very stable. And again, some of us in eastern areas of Texas along 69, 75 not even see a drop of rain. 78 today, down to 66 tonight with that chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly western areas. 84 tomorrow. Friday, another opportunity of rain and thunderstorms. Some of those could be heavy to severe Friday evening. Watch out for the potential for some locally heavy rain on Saturday, maybe 1 to 3 inches, a high of around 79. Some scattered showers in the morning Sunday, otherwise partly cloudy, 80. And then Monday and Tuesday looks a little better for us. We'll be right back.